we try to shield our kids, and I don't have kids, so I say we, but I feel like parents because have been a child, and I know other children who do have parents that didn't have to talk with them as far as sex in general, but furthermore, the sexual consent talk is y'all job to have the conversation with y'all sons and daughters and however they identify. It's y'all's job because kids grow up thinking they know what sexual consent is when they really don't, and they get in situations where they don't know how to handle themselves because they don't never had to talk. They never been educated. Episode of You Feel Me? It's your boy Duffel here.
It's me, Jaroan. What's up?
Hey, it's Wah.
Skip Drayless.
Skip Drayless, I like it. So today we're talking about something interesting and serious, more serious than anything. We're going to be discussing the whole thing behind Deshaun Watson, the sexual assault allegations, the many civil suits that he has against him, and also sexual consent in general. And basically go into what we feel about those topics, what we think, maybe some advice, maybe something that y'all don't agree with. You can like, subscribe, comment down below what you think about all that. But so the first thing I want to say about Deshaun Watson, for those people who don't know, is Deshaun Watson is a quarterback that's on the roster for the Houston Texans. But he's been trying to get traded and get out of Houston. I don't know why. He doesn't trust the team, apparently, because they didn't listen to him about, the next coach's choice. And then the whole thing behind Bill O'Brien, who really ruined the franchise, in my personal opinion, by letting all these people go. But that's another story. So Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback. And apparently he has been hiring different masseuses to give him massages or things like that. So with that being said, 2 weeks ago he came out with a statement before I seen that the first civil suit was filed, and he said that I want to get ahead of this basically, and it's come to my attention that there's a suit that's been filed against me, and it's baseless. It's a baseless claim. They're basically out for money, and I look forward to claiming my innocence. So since that first civil suit has been filed, there's been 19 others, so 20 total civil suits filed against him by attorney Tony Busby. And I will note this, that apparently Tony Busby is a friend of the owner. I don't know if that correlates. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't, but we'll see how that all plays out. But only 16 of those 20 have been posted on the Harris County District Clerk's website. But from my knowledge, it's 24 different women who I guess are a part of these 20 civil suits. The allegations range from refusing to cover his genitals to forcing women to give him oral sex. And the news actually broke first. So the first time this came to light was March 16th, which is 11 days ago. Watson has been accused of a lot of different things, as far as like we just listed: sexual assault, sexual harassment, those things, basically preying on vulnerable women and trying to use his power to basically cover it up and blackmail them to not say anything. There's been a lot of different locations that these allegations have taken place, from his home, from spas, hotels, rented rooms, massage therapy businesses, those different things. As far as right now, these are all civil suits which involve money, but they're trying to see if they have enough evidence to file criminal charges. So the reason why they can't just file criminal charges right off the bat, because a lot of these scenarios happen one-on-one. So it's kind of he say, she say, which is, very hard to prove in the court of law if you don't have any recordings, you don't have any, as far as audio, you don't have any recordings as video, you know what I'm saying? No witnesses, anything like that. So that's why it's very difficult. Deshaun Watson, the only thing he has done so far, as far as public statement, has came out with what I said earlier about it. The first one was a baseless claim. He did hire a great attorney, apparently. Do y'all know the attorney's name? He's famous, apparently. If I think of it or come across it, I'll get my people on it, i.e. y'all, look it up and figure out what's the attorney's name that Deshaun Watson got and also maybe some of the people that he covered. But while y'all do that, feel free to interrupt when y'all have the information.
Rusty Harden.
Rusty Harden, yeah, him. And apparently he's covered some, high profile people. So I'm not, as far as this goes, I'm not taking either side. I love Deshaun Watson, the player. He the one who made me, like the Houston Texans, but I was hoping to see him get out of there. But as far as this goes, I'm one way about it. If it's proven true that he done this shit, he needs to pay for it. As far as money, as far as jail, apologies. He needs to go to therapy, because if all of this is true, this is like he's like a serial predator. And I'm gonna be honest, like apparently he's gonna come out with the words that he used different masseuses due to COVID-19. I don't know about that, because if it was me, I would get the same woman or man that I would trust. I wouldn't go to different people, because that's more people you can get in contact with. So I don't really know how that makes sense. But I've done a lot of talking, so I'm gonna let the guys take over. So, Walt, what do you think?
I think it's I mean, I think there's like 20 people who came forward, right?
24 women.
It's like it's hard to imagine that 24 people are in it together to, like, I guess, make it up. So I can't believe that um it's not a real thing, and it's scary, and I agree he probably does need he needs to get punished for sure. Um, well, I mean, pending the lawsuit or whatever, but if it is true and um, he gets in trouble for it, he needs to be disciplined by the team, by the NFL. He needs to be made an example of. It's scary. I mean, just imagining those masseuses being like relatives or something, those are real human beings, and you got to treat them a certain way, and you should understand that. So yeah, those are my main thoughts on it. It's pretty scary, messed up situation. And hopefully the league does something about it.
I agree, Keandre.
I agree with what y'all said. At first, I thought it was one of the kind of like a setup, because at first it was just one person, and he had problems with his contract and not believing in the team. I believe that stemmed from the owner saying something about the players being prisoners, and the team being his prison. So he didn't really want to be supported by, or he didn't want to support a team that had that type of person as the lead. So he wanted to get out. But at first, like I said, I thought, okay, this must be by the team owner, to make him have to stay there, because no team's gonna take somebody with this type of press assigned to him. But 20 women come out. Honestly, like 4 or 5 women, maybe somebody's not telling the truth. But 20, he on his Bill Cosby. He did that.
I agree.
And to the point that you said about him going to multiple masseuses, I feel like if you're Deshaun Watson, I can understand wanting them to come to your house. You're a high profile figure. You want to relax and not have, cameras on you all the time. So be at your home, but you should have someone in that room with you. Like, you have the money, the finances, or whatever. You're the high profile person, so you have the say in the situation. You should be able to tell the masseuse, hey, I'm gonna have this person in here for this and that reason, and this is how that's gonna go. Hope it's not uncomfortable. So for him to go solo, 20 women come out and say the same thing, just looking rough for him. It's looking like he did that shit.
Yeah. I feel the same way. I mean, like y'all said. I mean, 20 women. I mean, bruh. You know what I'm saying? It's innocent to proven guilty, but bruh, 20, bruh, 20. And then like I seen something. I don't know if it's true or not. About him apologizing in the text message. Some girl posted that he apologized to her and said, "If I made you feel type of way, sorry or whatever, bruh." Like, it ain't looking good, honestly. I mean, dude, I think he deleted his Twitter. I mean, I think he preparing to me to say, yes, I done this. But honestly,
Wait, he deleted his Twitter? He deleted his Twitter?
If I'm mistaken, I looked for his Twitter today and I couldn't find his Twitter on there. I might be mistaken, but I couldn't find his Twitter.
I think he still has it.
But maybe so. But yeah, so I don't know. I think that this is very it's very hard to believe him and be like, yeah, he didn't do this when so many women say that he did it. I did find it a little odd about the lawyer being neighbors with the owner or whatever. I thought that was a little odd, you know. And honestly, bro, I feel like this is going to go 3 ways. The first one is he didn't do it and they lying. The second way is that he did do it and, you know, he gets the money or whatever, you know, he got to pay out the money or whatever. And the third way is somebody from the Texans was covering that shit up.
Yeah.
So not only is he going to get in trouble, they going to get in trouble too. Because to me, there is no way in hell all this came out now. You know what I mean? So if he did do it, somebody was covering up for him. Somebody was paying these women off for some shit. Something was going on wrong, in my opinion. That's just how it looks. I mean,
that would
but like,
make
you know,
most sense, honestly, with him, well, with the lawyer, attorney, whatever, for these women being the friend of the owner of the team, you know, like maybe he was covering it up and holding all this stuff back, and then now that you know Deshaun wants to leave, it's like, okay, now we can sick him. We have all this information already. I was the one protecting you, so like you can't hide it from me.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a situation where, you know, I'm eager to see how it plays out, just because of the simple fact of like he in the media he didn't seem like that type of guy, but I mean that just goes to show you don't really know anyone, especially like, you know, celebrity and shit like that. I mean he can look like the poster child for innocence all he wants and, you know, whatever, but I mean if he did this, I mean he's a fucking serial predator.
I mean, people saw Cosby as America's black dad, so shit.
Yeah,
that man was giving out pudding pops, bro. No one believed he could be a rapist.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely a situation where it's like, you know, man, come on, dog. Like, I don't know. I feel bad for the women. I feel bad for him. I just feel bad for the whole situation. You know,
man, I don't feel bad for him if he done it.
Yeah,
I definitely don't.
One thing that's so crazy to me.
I'm talking about at this moment right now, just because we don't know if he done it.
Well,
or not.
yeah.
But like, I don't know about y'all. I can't think of 20 women that I interact with, you know, in a year, outside of like, you know, 4 or 5 close friends. But for you to have 20 women come out and say you assaulted them, you doing something wrong. Like, even if you didn't do it, you are doing something wrong.
Yes. And that brings me to my next point. But I'll go to that. But hold that thought about what you just said about you doing something wrong. More on this. I feel like the NFL hasn't taken any action yet, but do y'all think they should? I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's hard for them at this point to take action because what if he didn't do it? But at the same time, 24 women, bro, like they're not gonna lie on you. I just don't see 24 women lying on you. You know, I really don't.
I say they come out and be like, we're opening up an internal investigation on the situation. You know,
I mean, they done that. They did do that.
Okay, then I mean, to me, that's enough because at this moment, you don't know anything, so you can't go against or with John at this point. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
So as long as they open up internal investigation or whatever and do their own research or whatever, and then they come to a decision once, you know, whatever happens, then they'll be like, okay, now we see.
Also, I don't really see the NFL doing much about this because we've seen the NFL in the past pick up, you know, well, the Cowboys in general pick up people who are known to like beat women, you know, known people to be super aggressive, and the NFL does nothing. You know, they allow them to get paid. They allow them to stay on the team. They don't make them go to therapy. You know, it's just a cycle. So if that's the case, I feel like we shouldn't expect the NFL to do much in this situation because they haven't done anything in the past.
See, I agree with you, but I also think this is a little bit different. And the reason I say that is because I think now there's key factors, right? Now the NFL is already under scrutiny with how they've handled certain situations. Colin Kaepernick, all these situations, the ratings are going down already. You know they're down. You know, so they have to worry about their perception if they don't do anything to him. So they could do anything. In my opinion, they have to at least suspend him for some amount of time. If not life, at least some amount of time. While they suspend him, he has to complete these therapy sessions or whatever the fuck if he is able to come back. But if I'm a team, I'm sorry, son, but you ain't playing for my team. You not. I don't give a fuck. You're not playing for my team. It's just not gonna happen because regardless of win or lose, to me it's all about selling tickets. And I feel like whatever team that goes to him, they're not gonna sell as many tickets. In my opinion,
I get what you're saying because this is a quarterback. This is the face of a team.
Yes,
you know it's a lot different than the face of the team, other than like outside of like a D lineman who I don't know about y'all. I don't know what half the D linemen look like. 75% of the D
Facts.
linemen. You know,
Yeah.
so I can see that being a different handled different because of that.
Mm-hmm.
I put it like this. You know, based on what you said, if the NFL suspends him, then reinstates him, I don't give a damn how bad it is. A team gonna pick him up. It's Deshaun Watson. I don't give a damn. They can get him for a sack of bricks at that point. Nah. They gonna pick him up because that's the NFL is. This is win by any means. Some teams have integrity, some teams don't. But I feel like the NFL lately has done, some things that I liked, as far as how they handle certain situations. Now, further back in the past, hell no. But this is the thing. And, I watch, I watch a lot of podcasts for research and everything like that. But, to try to, see, how we do things. But, watching Undisputed. Shannon Sharp, when that whole thing with Ray Rice came out, Jenny Taft, she said that, they should kick Ray Rice out the NFL. And Shannon Sharp was like, he didn't agree or disagree, but what he did say is, okay, so if you're gonna do that to an NFL player, let's do that to doctors, lawyers, coaches, all these other people, because we're trying to hold, NFL players who, get laughed at and everything, before the NFL players, oh, just some dumb job, don't know nothing job, you know what I'm saying? But you're trying to hold them at a higher standard than sometimes even the president of the United States. So I just feel like what I do agree with, if you're accused of something like that, rather regardless of what the situation was, I feel like you should get help. As far as a second chance, I don't know, but I feel like no matter what your profession is, you should get treated the same way. If it's letting you back in at a certain amount of time after you get therapy and everything like that, and that's your one chance, then hey, let's do that. If it's kicking you out forever and you lose your privileges, then do that. But I feel like that should be for all professions. But this the whole Deshaun Watson thing is shaky. And like I said, I don't want to take any sides, but it's hard. It's hard to go against 24 women, and I just want the women to know out there that like if something like that has happened to you, it is tough coming out. But I hope you're brave enough to come out, because the scum that do shit like that, as far as sexual assault, domestic violence, all of that, they need to be handled. I know it's hard because men do have men back, but there's people out there like us that I know right from wrong. And if a dude wrong, he wrong. Same thing with my homeboys. If they do some shit like that, I'm not fucking with them like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna say you fucking wrong, and I'm out the door on you. So it is what it is on that. But moving on, this is a question I want to ask y'all, because I think this is very important. Did y'all learn about sexual consent? A and B, if y'all did, who taught y'all and when? Let's start with Jay.
Did I learn about it like young? No. I mean, we had talks in school. A situation happened with some certain things, and they took all the boys in one class and all the girls in one class to talk to us about it. Then, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been junior high or whatever, but it wasn't really just a consent talk. We had one in college, but I mean at that time we grown, so it's not really like, I mean, to me that's too late. But I mean, at least they did something.
I agree.
So no, I mean personally, I don't think I've ever done anything wrong like that or anything like that. I have seen some things where I felt like, damn, that's sexual assault too. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that I didn't know or didn't understand. You know what I'm saying? You never know how a woman feels. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, you're a man. You don't know how a woman feels or what she sees as wrong or right or whatever. So I mean, I think sometimes it's, for certain things, it's a kind of thin line, and certain it's kind of hard to understand or whatever. Because some women might take one thing one way. For instance, like I seen today, a guy was talking to a girl, flirting with her, whatever. They thought they was having a decent conversation, and you go in the comments, he's harassing her, he's badgering her, why he didn't leave her alone, and stuff like that. But I'm like, when I saw the video, they were both laughing, talking to each other. Like, it wasn't like she was like, get away from me, or anything like that. So I mean, it's just like you never really know. So I still don't think there is 100% knowing type shit. You know what I'm saying? Because even sometimes yes can be considered what to say, like asking too many times or something like that. Like that can be considered, even if she said yes that one time, like that can be considered, whatever too. So like all those type of things playing a part. It just depends on who you're dealing with, I feel like.
Not to cut you off, but I want you to specifically go towards the question of, did you learn about sexual consent educationally? Not a little bit, no. And so no one taught you.
No.
Okay. Keandre, what
Uh,
about you?
Educationally, no, I never was told about it. It was for me. It was more of my uncles talking to me, like, but it wasn't like a consent talk. It was more like, I mean, all she can do is say no, and at that point, you just leave. My uncles just basically told me like it's up to the girl. If she does it, she does it. If she don't, she don't. You can't do nothing about that. Just leave it alone. But I
Mm.
didn't hear the specific word consent or learn about it until college, and that was a college orientation, and it was in 5 minutes. And all they said was "Cougs get consent," and we laughed about that because we thought it was like funny at the time, but like
Mm.
that's like a serious ass conversation that
Mm.
I personally don't think a lot of men are having. I don't think women are having. I don't think a lot of women understand that they are the ones who have to give consent, and they have to get consent also. But I'll save that for after everyone else talks about it.
Yeah. Well,
Uh, Personally, never educationally, never from my parents. My parents never taught me about, girls in general. It was always like you can date after you graduate college type of thing. And like Keandre said, we kind of laughed. My first time hearing the word consent in this context was at college two orientation, and we laughed at the coos get consent thing. And I think like the reason we laughed about it is because like we I would say we never really were in a position where that like played a factor. Like
Mm-hmm.
the
Mm.
context they put it in is like, you're drunk, blah blah blah. Like, there's no consent that can happen when you're drunk because
Mm.
you're mentally impaired. And so that was most of the context in which they gave it. And I had never touched alcohol, and I mean, I barely even drink as is. So I think that's why we kind of didn't take it that seriously, or not didn't take it seriously, but we kind of laughed about that
Mm-hmm.
saying. Um, but yeah, I mean, also like since I've been working, I mean, y'all probably have those sexual harassment courses, but when you watch a video that's super like cringe and corny,
Super cream.
like super obviously sexual harassment,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
going up to a female coworker, "Hey, sexy, what's going on?"
yeah.
I understand that's I'm not gonna do that, and you definitely shouldn't do that. But that's definitely that's the extent of how I learned consent.
Mm.
Okay. And I want to ask y'all two more questions. A simple yes or no will suffice as the answer. To lead to my next point. So my first question is, and you don't have to answer. You don't have to answer, but I will. My question is, did your parents know around the time when you started having sex? My answer is no. Keandre,
Yes.
Wall,
No,
Jaron.
No.
Okay, and before you had sex, did someone give you the talk? Just yes. Keandre.
Not. I was told to put on a condom. That was it.
Okay. Wall,
no, nothing.
Jaron.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So the reason I lead to that question is I feel like two things. Parents are so afraid to have a discussion about sex with their kids because they never know when it's time that I feel like once they do have the topic with you, A, it's too late. You already learned too much from your peers, or B, you already had sex. So the reason I ask those questions about, did somebody teach about sex education? Because I feel like it's the parents' job to teach you. Regardless if you don't want to have that conversation or not. You need to have the consent talk with your sons and your daughters, or however they identify. You need to have that talk with them at I would say an early age of 12, 13.
I'll say right around
Because
junior high.
yeah, because I feel like that's when I started being like knowing what sex was, and knowing, because nobody talked to me about it, knowing what I thought sex was, but thinking about back then what I thought and what I know now is no comparison. But I feel
Mm.
like, we try to shield our kids, and I don't have kids, so I say we, but I feel like parents, because have been a child, and I know other children who do have parents that didn't have to talk with them as far as sex in general. But furthermore, the sexual consent talk is y'all job to have the conversation with y'all sons and daughters, and however they identify. It's y'all's job, because kids grow up thinking they know what sexual consent is when they really don't. And they get in situations where they don't know how to handle themselves because they never had to talk. They never been educated. And my freshman year in college, Jaron, somebody did give us a sexual consent talk. I don't know if you remember when they made all the dudes go to the auditorium, and that guy who every time he sees us, he tried to get us to go to the kind of like therapy session thing. I don't know if you remember him or not.
Yeah, the black dude. Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah. Rest in peace to him. But yeah, he gave us the talk, and y'all say it's too late, and I agree. But I feel like at least once everybody goes to college, someone needs to give them the sex talk and the sexual consent talk. All the universities need to do it. We need to stop straying away from this, children, or I won't say children, but teens don't have sex. It fucking happens. I was not 18 when I lost my virginity. I'm going to just be honest. I wasn't. So, this whole notion of, I'm going to just not talk to my kids because if I don't talk to them about it, they don't want to know what sex is. No. I don't know why parents think this. You're not, 9 times out of 10, you're not the one who influences your teenager. It's their peers. Everybody doesn't raise their kids the same. If they go to public school, they're going to know about sex. They're going to know about porn. They're going to know about drugs. They're going to know about every bad thing. And whether they do it or not, that's, a whole nother story. And hopefully you raise them not to do it. But just not talking to them about those things at all, it leads too much up to confusion. And like Jared said, this line of what can be considered sexual assault or, pressuring or whatever is so thin because it depends on the person. I could be with one girl and she likes that I do these things or whatever. But I'll be with another girl and she hates it now, and she, filed charges against me or whatever. And I would admit, yeah, I done that. But now I'm going to jail or something, or I'm getting charged with sexual assault because I didn't know what consent was. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, we got to do a better job of educating our kids. And I feel like one thing I always say, only thing I can do is when I have kids, do better than my parents did in that aspect and teach my kids have the sexual consent talk. Now, my dad, he's not even the one who gave me the sex talk. It was my mom. And she gave it at a very young age. Very, very young. It was probably like 9 or 10 when she started talking to us about it and everything. And, I don't blame her because I feel like that's part of the reason why I don't have kids today. She talks to me about, putting a condom on and everything like this, sexual diseases and all of that. So, and my dad, he gave the talk when I was like a junior in high school. That was too late. Way too late. So, I'm just being real. I feel like we got to have these talks with our sons and daughters, and more so dudes, because we see dudes a lot more get in trouble for sexual assault and not knowing what consent is and everything like this. And like Keandre said, we're intelligent people, and I'm talking about human beings. No matter if she says yes, in her body language, her actions, any that says no, get your ass up and get your ass gone. It's that simple. You know what I'm saying?
I can't really agree with you on that, because that to me is, you can't necessarily just say that, because that's confusing. You can't say that. You can't say that because that's confusing. That is way too confusing.
I disagree also, but I disagree with a different point. Well, I'll let y'all finish.
I'll go at Jaron. You say that's a yes or a no, but we've seen in the past where, people get charged with statutory rape because the body language or the actions, or what I'm saying?
Statutory rape?
Yeah, like
Wait, statutory I thought was age-wise.
No, I didn't. I thought
statutory is definitely age-wise.
I thought it was something like
sure?
not being able to consent or something.
Well,
no, I thought statutory was like versus if someone is like 18 and someone is like 16.
You're right. It's not statutory rape. It's a different type of rape, but basically coercion. So even like if you keep asking or whatever,
of consenting is what statutory rape is.
Legally, and that means age. Legally,
it's drunk or not.
No.
Drunk.
Legally means age. Legally means age,
it's not,
because
it would say
you can't.
age.
You can't even if
no.
you're 16.
Darren's correct. It's a certain.
Yeah,
okay.
if you're 16 or whatever, you can't legally give consent to have sex with someone, no matter what age you are, even if they're 16.
Okay.
I mean,
I see what you're saying, and that's the wrong term. Thank you for correcting me. But what I mean is, like, we seen in. I take it for example. Everybody's seen 13 Reasons Why, right? Everybody's seen it. You seen the scene of Hannah Baker in the pool with dude, and she never said no. But her body language and everything that she's doing, to me, and it's obvious that she does not want that. So if she goes and says he raped me, I mean, she never said yes, she never said no. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I feel like body language and actions, and I would say this: if you're confused and you haven't asked a lot of times, because if you keep asking and she didn't say no all these times, I would say just drop it at the first no. I wouldn't go ask twice, 3 times, regardless of if she clown you after, go tell the homegirls, oh he weak, whatever. Is she not worth it? Because I told my now fiance back when we was boyfriend and girlfriend, like I'm not playing that game. You say no, it's no. I'm done on it. I'm not going into it. So if that's not what you mean, don't tell me no. You know what I'm saying? Because if you tell me no not once or any playful actions like that, I'm not continuing. I don't give a damn. So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I say actions, and you can tell that sometimes you can tell that they really mean no. Like just don't do it. But
oh no, okay, that I agree with. But when you said that she says yes, but her body language says no, that part can be confusing. Because I mean, for instance, you may not understand what her body is saying. Her body language is saying at a point. So that saying yes and then her body language, that's confusing. But as far as like just reading her body language and you can obviously tell she's not into it, then yeah, that I agree with.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. But Keandre, what was your point that you?
Oh, my disagreement is you said more so we should teach the men, but or young boys. But I feel like it's the opposite. I feel like women need to really understand their power of consent, and they need to be instilled with confidence to be able to say that. Because I've had friends, because like again, y'all know I have like some women friends that I'm really close with, who are in situations where they weren't uncomfortable with the dude, but they weren't confident or comfortable enough to say no to them. They didn't want to say no to them because they didn't know what would happen. So I've seen that situation multiple times. I've heard about the situation multiple times. I feel like as a father, a mother, you should give your daughter confidence to be able to say, no, I don't like this. I'm not into it. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care how you feel. This is my body. This is how I feel. I'm not with it. Because as a man, I feel like you can't get things confused when it's that upfront. And that's how most men are. Like most men, they're very simple. They're like, they hear one thing and they know it's that one thing. So if a girl doesn't say anything and the dude just thinks, okay, she's not saying anything, it must be fine. Yes, he's in the wrong, because he should be man enough to know he needs to get verbal consent no matter what's happening. But also, like, as the woman in that situation, you have to protect yourself, because in those situations you're by yourself. There's no one else that's going to be there to do that for you. There's no one at the end of the day that's going to be like, hey, I'm going to come by and make sure he's doing all the right things. It's just you. Only you can protect yourself at other times. So I think you just have to have that confidence, have to be able to stand up for yourself a lot of times.
I think that's a good step, but what I do disagree on, I feel like the conversation should be more on the men, because a lot of times we're not just dealing with sexual assault, we're dealing with rape. So she done said no, but the man overpowers her and,
I wasn't even talking about pure rape. I mean, that's a whole different thing to me.
But I'm just saying, like, it's consent in general. Like, if you had a conversation with a dude, you giving him consent in general, and you said, most men will take, no for an answer. I disagree with that as well, because, if you ask a second time, that could be considered as coercion. It could in the court of law. So you see what I'm saying? Yeah. Like,
see, I was just talking about that initial conversation. There's a lot of gray areas within that. And rape, just straight up rape. You got some shit going on with you. You need to be put in the house. Something. Yeah. If you out here just raping people, but like the gray area of consent is what I'm talking about, where women need to have more confidence in their self.
Oh, I definitely agree. And
I think coercion is a very tough topic, just because I've seen times where, for instance, like one time I was dealing with a girl or whatever who was in the mix or whatever. She was like, she wasn't comfortable having sex at that time, and I was like, cool, whatever. So I left. She texted me later that night and said, I wish we could have done more. Like, what? What does that mean? What does that mean? What do you mean? Like, but you said no, whatever, I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? And then, like, I mean, I done seen the flirty side of, like, come on type shit. Like, come on, you want to do it type shit. And it's like, it's one of those, like, you don't know if she's saying no type situations. Yeah. Like, it coercion to me is a very hard thing, because like you said, it depends on body language. It depends on a lot of different things.
But-
Personally, I don't feel like I've ever done anything close to, sexual assault or sexual abuse or whatever. And I've been with a couple different girls in my day. So, you know what I'm saying? So, I feel like none of them were the same. You know what I'm saying? These niggas here. None of them were the same. You know what I'm saying? None of them were like,
You see him?
you know what I'm saying? It just, coercion to me is a very difficult topic. Very difficult.
I've been in
I
a
agree with.
similar situation as Jaron talking about, and Wall knows about this one because I think this was in college, like our freshman year, where I was, in the girls' dorm room, and things were going somewhere, and then she said no. Me being me, I heard no. All right. Let me. I'm gonna sit on the couch. You chill on the bed. I'm gonna sit on the couch. Should I leave? She's like, no, you can stay. And then she was like, nah, why are you getting off the bed? And then she was like, nah, you stay over here. And I'm like, maybe, you know what I mean? Okay, I'll stay. And then she starts up again. And I'm like, okay, this is getting confusing, but I'm just gonna chill. So I wasn't doing nothing. And then it's like, why ain't you doing nothing? I don't feel safe. And so I left. And I told Wall straight up, like, yo, bro, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm scared right now. Because like I didn't know, bro. I didn't know if I did something to, like, if I shouldn't have put my hand on her back, So but again, I think in that situation, she should have been more upfront with what she wanted. But at the same time, as the man in the situation, I feel like a lot of the time dudes are scared to have that conversation. Like, nobody wants to go into the full conversation of, like, in the heat of the moment, like, yo, are we able to have sex right now? Is that cool? Can we do this? Because, like, people think
that's a mood killer.
Yeah, exactly. People think it's a mood killing, but, like, I would rather be safe and not have thoughts about being in prison. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I feel like more men have to be able to have that conversation. You can't be pussy and not have that conversation just because you don't want to kill a mood.
I was going to say that.
I definitely agree with that.
Not to cut you off, Jaron, but let me say this: what Keandre was saying. I definitely agree with that, and that's exactly what I was going to say. Like, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So to my men out there, or male teens, or people that's in those acts in general. If you're confused, be safe. Just leave or go sit on the couch or whatever, or just don't do it that day and then get confirmation. Because, you might be in a situation where everything flows and, whatever happens, it's beautiful, it's nice, everybody can see it, whatever. But you might find yourself in a situation where it's confusing. You have other chances. And then that's when you can have that conversation of, I don't know what's going on. Are we able to do stuff? Are we not? Whatever. I just want to make you feel comfortable. Have that conversation then. So it's not every time, but you'd rather be safe than sorry because you do not want to be stuck in that situation. But I feel like, me, Keandre, and Jaron had a lot to say on the topic. But what about you, Wal?
I've been trying to jump in, but I didn't want to cut no one off. But I think, like, the core, like, takeaway for me is something that I find increasingly something that's increasingly important as we grow up. Like, communication is so hard. Whether you're in a relationship, whether you're trying to talk to a girl, whether you're working with 4 people in a Discord or something, it's so difficult, and there's so many gray areas because there's so many aspects of communication that you don't really think about. Like you said, I might say yes. Secretly, man, I don't want to have sex tonight, I feel really uncomfortable. But I say yes. But it comes back and, people can take things different ways. And even if I say yes and I'm fully consenting, like in Keandre's case, or, you might not take it that way. Well, I want to be safe. I don't want to even risk getting in trouble. But I think communication is, like, so key. And, like, I think that you brought up a good point, Keandre, about, like, talking about it. Like, hey, let's set the ground rules. Because I remember, when you're flirting and stuff, when I was a kid, sometimes you be like, no, I don't want to hang out with you. No, like, playing hard to get, you know what I mean? Like, that was a real thing a long time ago. It's not something that I see a lot anymore. Not that I'm, like, flirting, like I see people flirting, but, like, I don't even hear about it. And when people slide in DMs, most of the time, at least when you see these viral posts of how relationships started, that you don't get that vibe. You don't see that in the messages. It's usually pretty straightforward. Like, here's my number, blah blah blah, and then the second picture, they're all together and happy. But I think, like you said, Karen, it starts with with parents, it's hard to learn that yourself. There's so much in the world that you don't quite understand, that your parents have lived so long, likely so long, to where they have some sort of understanding, or at least enough knowledge to give you like a base of knowledge about. And I feel like when you need to tell your kids, like Keandre said, both girl and boy. I think the responsibility is on both, for the girl to feel empowered to say no, um to be able to you know, fully explain whether consent is there or not, and act on it if it's not going the way you feel like it should,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy to realize that. Or if he even if he gets consent and he feels like it's not real consent, to just, you know, hit the bench, take off, whatever.
Facts.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. Like, communication is so big now in our life, and I feel like that's been like one of the things that has changed a lot about our generation. Like,
Mm-hmm.
open communication. Like, we have to say what we mean,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to mean what we say. Like, we can't do this playing around, hard to get stuff anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's dangerous. No, I think it's unfair to put both guy and girl, because it can go both ways.
Yeah, I
Like,
can.
guys can get
Mm-hmm.
raped, girls can get raped. It's unfair to put the other person in that position to where they could get in trouble because they thought that this was okay, and then you feel like it's not. So open communication to me is like the biggest thing in all of this, as well as confidence,
Mm-hmm.
to like feel empowered to cut things off if you're not feeling it. But that's
Facts.
I agree
that's
with
my
that.
main, like, that's my main takeaway. That's my main thoughts on the whole situation of sexual consent.
And I
One
definitely
thing.
feel like Keandre said, let me cut you off real quick, Karen. I feel like Keandre said, there's definitely two different sides, two different spectrums when it comes to, like, you know what I'm saying, outright rape. Like, I got bad thoughts about people who do shit like
Hey, go
that.
to
Like,
prison,
they
bro. Just go to
deserve,
prison.
certain, no,
Later, worse.
nigga, them niggas gotta die. I'm gonna give it a stack with you. Them niggas need to be gone off the earth. Fuck them. Not more, no, not, ain't no chances. Ain't none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? If it's outright proven, you know what I'm saying, it ain't nothing, like, kill them. That's
I
it.
th-
I mean, that's how I feel. But when it comes to, like, those gray areas and stuff like that, that's where it becomes a conversation for me. It's like, it's hard. It's definitely hard. And I definitely feel like Walt said, communication is a big thing. And I feel like even, I'm saying, the mood killers, I mean, you gotta have them conversations. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have them conversations. Got to.
I think it's all about perspective. For me personally, um, I've been in a relationship for a long time, so it's been a while since I've like tried to, you know, get a girl's number or whatever. But I feel like for me, that's not a hard conversation to have anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Um, as far as mood killing, just because like I don't like I think Keandre or you mentioned it, Jaron, like it doesn't matter. Like, fuck the mood at this point.
Yeah, I don't care about the
Yeah.
mood.
Prison
I
prison
don't
ain't
care
worth
about the
it
mood
type
at
shit.
all.
And
Facts.
it's crazy because like sometimes, well, I don't really think about it, but if I were ever like single again and I was hitting on a girl, well, if I was single again, a lot of times I think like I wouldn't even want to try to be in a relationship, just because I feel like the whole the whole flirting and getting into the relationship part is scary, and I don't ever want to put myself in a position that I described, like where I take something the wrong way. Like, I thought you meant consent, but it's really not, and I get in trouble for it. Like, I'd rather just take myself out of that situation at all. Not that, I'm trying to force myself onto a girl or anything, but just being in that situation, it's just super scary to me.
Mm-hmm.
And to the point where I would rather just like, just strictly friends, no relationship, got my dog in the back,
Oh,
I
Okay,
can,
see?
I mean, there are websites for the lifestyle that I would live without a girlfriend. I
Oh, you
mean,
you got the
you
single milfs
know,
near you. Okay.
yeah, I can't get in trouble. I might be watching that stuff alone, but I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah,
I agree
and
with you
easy
saying.
Gucci now. Moving down, my boy. It's Gucci.
Yeah, I feel you on that. But one thing I want to say is, as men, you know, I think And I know I feel like we all would, but as men, check your homeboys. Check your homeboys.
Some of your
Because
niggas are nasty,
these
though.
that's what I'm saying. Some of your homeboys out here on some bullshit. And I'm gonna be the first to say, like, if my homeboys out here on some bullshit, I'm gonna call them out on it and let them know, like, hell no, fuck that shit. Like, I'm your nigga, but that is a different story, bro. We ain't on no shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? And as far as domestic violence, sexual, consent, sexual assault, all of that, bro, check your homeboys. And you know what I'm saying? Be a man, bro. Like, it'll be more women out there. You want to ruin your fucking life, risk your fucking life over something like that? Like, no, don't, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? In as far as the mood killer, I do agree that it is a mood killer. But I'm gonna be real. Every girl who I ever, done something with, I'm asking every step of the way, is it okay if I do this? I don't give a damn about the mood. I don't give a damn if you want to go back and say, man, to your homegirl, he asks a lot of questions. He lame. Fuck you. Fuck you. Well, never mind, I ain't gonna go into that. But anyway,
Fuck you. Fuck
anyways,
you.
facts, bro. Like, I don't give a damn. I'll be straight up forward, be like, nah, it ain't worth it. Like, I'm asking every step of the way, can I do this? Can I do this? It's still okay, whatever. And if you tell me, no, stop, well, get my ass up, whatever. And to be honest, I'm probably gonna bounce. But I'll have a conversation with you after, be like, I just didn't want to make you feel uncomfortable. Like, I bounced to let you compose yourself. I didn't want to do, what I'm saying, whatever wrong, but let's talk, you know what I'm saying? And if you don't want to never do nothing with me again, or you don't want to ever fuck with me again, like, I'm fine with that. But I would have the open dialogue, because I feel like what Walt said, we as human beings, we don't communicate enough. So let's start opening that communication. That's all aspects of life, but specifically in this, like, don't care about a mood killer. If you feel like something is wrong, speak the fuck up, because your ass will be in jail. I'm letting y'all know, or at least, or maybe not in jail, but once you get that type of reputation, whether it's true or not, if that goes in the air about you, your life is gonna change forever. And especially if you know what I'm saying, especially if you like somebody like Deshaun Watson, regardless if this comes out as true or not, he's gonna be looked at a certain way for the rest of his life. So, and one thing I will say about this, I see a lot about women, but men may do it too. Don't lie. It's so much real shit that goes on. Do not lie. You know what I'm saying? If you had sex with this person in the moment, and after you regret it, you may regret it, but it wasn't rape. It wasn't, sexual assault. You just regret that at the end of the day. And another thing I want to say about this, when you mix drugs and alcohol with sex, right? To be honest, don't do it. And especially not the first time you ever have sex. And it's another thing too. If you're the type of dude who, oh yeah, come over and get a drink with me, bro. You on some weird ass shit, bro. She don't want to fuck you sober, bro. If she don't want to fuck you sober, then you shouldn't be fucking her. Cause I ain't gonna go into something I kind of want to get into, but I'm gonna just say this, bro. If she won't have sex with you sober, she ain't gonna have sex with you. She shouldn't be having sex with you drunk. So don't think just because you got a drunk that means something. You still a weak ass nigga, and I'm gonna leave it at that. But
I have one last thing before we go. So
go ahead.
Hey, niggas, you know what I mean? If you feel the situation is uncomfortable, if you don't have full consent, go home, beat your meat, and you know what I mean, have a conversation. After you beat that meat, you have a little clarity. We all know what that clarity is after. So go ahead.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. What am I doing?
You feel disgusted with yourself after that. That message you was finna send her? You a nasty nigga and you know it. What else? Niggas, bro. When she say no, don't be one of them niggas who get mad and all bitches are like, nah, nigga, you just a dirty nigga and nobody want to touch you. Clean your fingernails. Women. Some of y'all need to get consent too, bro. Because some of y'all be harassing, touching on people's body, and you don't know my body like that. Talk to me first. But that's all I got, man.
And one thing I want to say about that, I be saying like, women say, I'm gonna just take it. Bitch, you nasty too.
Yeah,
you dirty too. Bitch,
I don't even
no,
know
don't.
Ain't no fucking
take
it, bro.
Does anybody else have anything to say?
Nah, bro. I think y'all just hit it on the head, bro. You a nasty nigga.
Well, I always like leaving something for the people. So Jaroan, why? Which one of y'all want to leave something for the people?
I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I think communication it's cool about our generation because we're opening all forms of communication and communicating really well about issues. Like, older people and some people our age might call us snowflakes or soft or something, but I mean, it's okay to talk about things.
Oh, box me, you call me a snowflake.
Yeah, I'm soft as hell. I still.
I mean,
I don't know what that means. That just sound racist and something else. I don't know what the fuck that sound like. But go ahead, continue, bro.
but I think the important thing, the most important takeaway and thing that I think you should think about is like, if you have a female, sibling, even your parents, daughters, you need to make them feel empowered. And I think people should already be thinking about this if they're not. You need to make them feel empowered to speak up when they're uncomfortable. And I think that's what's really cool about our generation. Like you see, the Me Too stuff, like a lot of people coming out, both guys and girls. But I think, you know, most of the people who have come out are women. I think it's really important that we empower them and make them feel confident in speaking out. There's so many times people like try to shut them down or something. Oh, you're lying. Oh, you were dressed this way, so you should have expected that. Blah blah blah.
Gross.
But I agree. Exactly like you said. Go clean your fingernails or something. Like we need to make the new generation of women and everyone alive today feel empowered to speak out about something that they're uncomfortable with. And I think that's something we should all think about. We'll have kids someday, and like Karen said, I want to be a good parent. I want to talk about these things with my kid. And I, if I have a daughter, I definitely want to make her know that, if you need to speak to anyone, you can speak to me about it. I can help you, walk you through conversations, scripts on how to handle that situation. But yeah, just empower your friends, empower your family to speak out about things they're uncomfortable with, especially sexual consent. And that's it.
And one thing I want to end with is if you older sibling and you had that type of bond with your younger siblings, had a conversation with them if their parents. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody need to talk to them. I'm gonna just be real. But
Absolutely.
this has been you feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like and subscribe. Thank y'all for coming. We always premiere the episodes, so come out to the premiere parties. We be in the comments. You know what I'm saying? Waiting for replies. Interacting with everybody. Yeah. Get consent. Get consent.
Codes get consent.